Alright, sorry about that. I had to stop that video. It was right at the 2 hour mark. And that's why we call these series Ramblin' Rich, because I just keep on rambling and don't know when to stop. And I was talking about that bighorn sheep and how majestic it was and beautiful to see, and it really was just awe-inspiring. Other things up there in Cripple Creek, like I said, the mountain lion tracks. Never seen one, but I seen the tracks. We've done some deer hunting up there. We did the elk hunting when we saw that big herd of elk moving through the valley down there. What happened was later on in the week, the sheriff's department, a few of the deputies all got together, and around Christmas time, it was like I said, it was during the winter. And it was right around Christmas time. And what they do is they will go out and they will kill some elk and harvest the meat. And then they give that meat to some of the poorer families in the communities in both Victor and Cripple Creek. So I don't know if my dad told him about that herd of elk or if it's a common thing that happens every year, that this herd of elk move through this valley or whatnot. But anyway, a week later, we go back out to that valley, and with the probably maybe 6 or 7 deputy sheriffs, my dad's friends and buddies, and also one of the city police officers there in Cripple Creek. His name was Walt Derby. Walt went out with us that day too, because he was part of the law enforcement community. And they killed 2 elk, and they take him back. We took him back to the sheriff's. Over in Victor, he had a house, not really a house, but like a stable area, and we took the elk back to the stable area, where into his barn or stables area, hung them up and butchered them there, and that's where I learned about butchering, skinning, how to skin large animals. Of course, up there in Cripple Creek, I would hunt in the summertime with my .22 rifle out to the dump. There was a ravine, a small ravine, probably 6-8 feet high, sandy bottom, dry river ravine that led out to the dump, and it ran from the dump a little bit past the dump, all the way in down by the school, and ended up turning into like a little culvert there in front of the school. So I would give in the summertime, I'd grab my .22 in the afternoon. I'd walk up to the school, into the ditch, and just keep walking that ditch on up to the dump. Probably maybe a mile and a half, if that. But along the way, there were prairie dogs on both sides of this ditch. And if you walk in the bottom of the ditch, the prairie dogs don't see you. And you can hear them up there yapping back and forth and doing their little barking. And if I was by myself, I would pop up on top of the ridge, find me a prairie dog, scope him out, boom, pop the prairie dog, watch him, see if I can't get him to flip is what I was trying to do. Because that's what the prairie dogs do. If you don't know, prairie dogs are a nuisance. They dig holes in the prairies, in the fields, and horses and cows will go through the fields and break their ankles when they step in these holes. So farmers don't want prairie dogs in their field, and unbeknownst to me at the time, but yeah, farmers pay people to kill prairie dogs, and they'll pay you for each prairie dog you kill. And at that time, I heard the going rate was $0.25. Every prairie dog you kill, you get $0.25. Personally, I killed plenty of prairie dogs. I never even skinned one of them. I never even got out of the ditch, to be honest. I would pop out there, see a prairie dog, boom, pick him off, wait for another one to pop up, poof, pick him off if I could. Sometimes I'd miss, I wasn't the best shot. And then I'd go over to the other side and walk along a little bit, pop up on the other side if you can hear him. Look to see if there's any. If there's not, duck on down, keep on walking, pop up, see if there's any prairie dogs. That's how I made my way out to the dump. When you got out to the dump, I would hunt birds. big birds. I thought they were ravens or something. But I told you about that big bird that I saw at a Genentech, that condor or whatever. These weren't, I wouldn't say they were that big, but these are big enough birds that as they were flying over and I was shooting with my .22 that I had, I would see my bullet hit the birds in the chest. And I could see the puffs of the feathers popping out because my bullets were hitting the birds in the chest. And I couldn't knock the bird out of the sky. The next thing I was going to try to do was try to get a headshot on the bird, but I was never that good. I did get to hit the body, and I never did knock the bird out of the sky. They were pretty big birds. That's when I told myself, I need a bigger gun. The weapon I would use out there to hunt deer was my dad's .30-30 Winchester. Went deer hunting every, couple of seasons up there. Went deer hunting one time down in Lamar. And also didn't do any deer hunting in Monte Vista. Went for a few hikes and over at the river there, but never do any deer hunting. But the .30-30 is what I would use when I would go deer hunting. I did get a couple of shots off, but never did get a kill. I don't even think I hit the deer because I didn't find any blood to track or anything like that. So a couple of shots, totally missed. Other things up there in Cripple Creek that I can tell you about. When we would go hiking up there, it's a mining town. So sometimes we would come across these gold mines or just a mine in the middle of the forest. You'd be walking along, there'd be a gigantic hole, no bottom. We would throw rocks into it. Sometimes you couldn't even hear it hit the bottom down there. I mean, not little rocks, big freaking rocks that we would throw in there and try to listen to let them hit the bottom. Sometimes you could hear it, sometimes you couldn't. We never even got really close to these holes. We were definitely scared of them. We were told never to go near them because they would cave in. We were told even if you saw like a depression in the ground, not to go on top of that depression because it could be where a mine had been and had caved in, and there could be just a few inches of dirt there waiting to collapse. So hunting or being off trail anywhere up in the Cripple Creek Victor area, be very careful. Me and the sheriff's son, what was his name? I want to say Matt, but I really don't think that was it. The sheriff's son of Victor. We were pretty good friends. We would spend the night at each other's house. I can remember one night spending the night over at his house and him showing me the Playboy he had under his bed. And then later on that night, he had shown me that in the afternoon. Well, later on we were having dinner at his dinner table, and his mom comes in with that Playboy that she had found under his mattress, and it was so funny. He told me later it was a good thing that I was there that night because he didn't get in trouble. But he thinks that if I wasn't there, he would have gotten a whole lot more trouble. There's a couple other things I could probably tell you about that dude that, it's pretty funny. We had some really fun times. Like I said, he would spend the night at my house. Sometimes I would spend the night at his house. A couple of times when I would spend the night at his house, we would go on hikes during the day. And one time we went up to one of the mines over there in Victor. And I can remember going into the cyanide pit. And I know what you're thinking. What they did is they used cyanide to leach out something of the gold, to expose the gold so that they could get access to it. Something like that. You'll have to read a little bit more on how they use cyanide in the gold processing thing. But anyway, what it does is it leaves there's a residue behind. And it's basically like ash. Or and that's what it looks like to me. It looks like ash that's been soaked with water and is like quicksand. So in the runoff to these mine areas, if you walk across them, it's like a muddy river, small, maybe 3-4 feet. You could jump over it in places, and some places it was a little wider. But if you followed it far enough, you know, the runoff just ran down into a pit, and you could jump over it in places. But what our dumbasses did is we started to walk across the pond part of it, the pit part, that big part of it, and we were walking across that, and he started to sink. And so what he did is he wanted to see how far he could sink and still get out. So I was there to help him. We had what he did is he took off his shoes, his socks, his pants. So he's out there in his underwear, and he's walking, and we find this rope, a tall, maybe a half-inch size rope, long rope. We tie a loop in it, and I put it around his waist, and he starts walking across the cyanide pond, and he's sinking in. As each step, he's sinking in a little farther and farther, and it's up to his knees, and soon it's up to his thighs, and soon it's up to almost touching his underwear. And it's mud. It's like, it looks like ash and dirt and coal all mixed in like a dark mud, and it's nasty. But he would try to get in there, and he would sink all the way in. You know, you move your legs back and forth a little bit, you sink all the way down, and then he would try to get out. And if he got to the point where he couldn't get out, I had the rope that I could help pull him out. So our dumbasses. Anyway, he gets fucking stuck in this thing. I'm pulling on the rope, and I'm just pulling. He is stuck. He cannot fucking get out. And we start to panic. Okay, it's starting to get it's in the afternoon now. He's still stuck. He's probably been in there maybe a half hour. I'm freaking out. I don't know. I don't want to leave him, first of all. If I leave him, who knows? Fucking mountain lion, a bear, wolves. They could come. He's easy prey because he can't get out. He's fucking stuck. It's like La Brea tar pits for this kid. And he's stuck so far now. Now it went all the way up to his thighs. It is now touching the bottom of his underwear. His scrotum, his balls are almost into this thing. And I have this rope on him. The rope is now up under his arms, and he's leaning back, and I'm pulling on him, trying to pull him out of this stuff, and it ain't working. What's my dumb idea? I'm like, dude, let me come out there and I'll rescue you. So what do? I take off my shoes. I take off my socks. I take down my pull off my pants. I'm in my underwear now. What do? I tie the rope around me and I walk out to him. Dumb, I know. I should have tied it around something else and been able to pull ourselves up. But I tied it around me in case I need to be pulled out of there too. But I'm not thinking, we're kids. Anyway, I wade out to him, and I'm not sinking as bad as he is. He's all the way up to his thighs. I'm just past my ankles as I'm walking out to where he is. I get to where he's at. I've only sunk down to maybe a little over my thighs, and probably the middle of the calf by now. So I'm not sinking as quickly, and I'm trying to help him get out. Okay, I'm helping him get out, and he is moving. He is getting up out of this. I want to call it quicksand now, but he's getting up out of this mud, this muck, and he's finally getting out. But as he's coming up, I'm also sinking in deeper and deeper. As I'm helping him out, he's coming out, but I'm getting in deeper. So he's almost out. He's up to about where his knee is out, but then my knees are also stuck in there. So now we're stuck about the same. I can still get out. And I know now he is now able to barely get out as well. So we're right at that spot where we're both kind of stuck, but we can both still kind of get out. And we finally wiggle ourselves out. We finally had to lay all the way over. I ended up getting mud all over my underwear and shit. It was totally fucking muddy from probably my chest all the way. I took my shirt off and threw it over on the side there by my pants and shoes. So we were totally covered in mud. What do after we finally get out of this fucking cyanide pit? We go over to the creek and wash off. That fucking water was so goddamn cold. But we're out there. I take off my underwear. We're out. Two fucking kids out there in the middle of the fucking woods, naked. I'm washing my underwear, trying to get them clean from this silt. And now I finally get them kind of clean. It still didn't get all clean. They were still filthy. But I got them clean. But now they're wet. And I don't want to wear wet underwear, and I don't want to wait for them to fucking dry. So I ended up just putting on my pants with no underwear, and my socks and my shoes. I think we just left our underwear out there. I think he left his underwear out there too. So somebody's going to go out there and find 2 pair of little boy underwear and think, what the fuck happened out here? So if you guys are ever up in the mountains of Cripple Creek, Victor area, you see a couple of pair of underwear out there in the cyanide pit, yeah, that's my underwear. Tidy whities, both of us. And that's something I will never remember. I never ever forget. I had to put on my pants with no underwear because I didn't want to wait for them to dry after we had the bright idea of washing them in the creek. We washed ourselves off and got, we dried off our, just by standing out there and wiping the water off. But, yeah, things you do when you're a kid, you just don't know. Anyway, I was talking about jobs. Got off on a little tangent there in Cripple Creek. The next job I had after we moved from Cripple Creek, I was down to Delhart. What was I talking about in Cripple Creek? We had the horse stables and all that. Okay, so after Cripple Creek, it was Delhart. Wow. Let me try to get back on track to where I was. And that was let's see, I was in Delhart at an XIT doing the cowboy thing. Is that how I got over here on a XIT? I was back to Cripple Creek because of the horses or something. I may have to go back and review that video and just start again. But anyway, this is why it's called Ramblin' Rich, because here I am just rambling away, going on and on. My wife should be coming home here soon anyhow, so if I stop suddenly, that's the reason. Or when I hit the 2-hour mark again, I'll probably stop. I didn't really expect it to go this long. But that's how it is when you're just rambling away. Anyhow, let's get started trying to get back on track here. I think I was back to Delhart, XIT, all that cowboy stuff there. So the next job I had, no way, man. I was already way past that. We were already out at Genentech in South San Francisco and talking about that stuff. I don't know how the hell I got back to Cripple Creek. But let's see, yeah, Genentech, man. I ain't still done with that shit either, because that was an amazing career I had out there at Genentech. Some of the other things that we did that I can brag about at Genentech part was I was on the First Alert team. First Alert Response Team is what we called it. The acronym for that would be FART. So we called it the FART team. And then we changed it. I didn't mind being called FART, but some of the other guys kind of took offense to it. So they changed it from FART to FAT and dropped the response to just the First Alert team, FAT team. To get on the FAT team, it's basically made of the security personnel and maintenance personnel. We're considered the first responders there at Genentech for any emergency or crisis that arose. Things that would arise out there quite often and frequently were mechanical malfunctions, pipe burst, overflows. One of my famous $1 million, I'll tell this story real quick. I'm on the $1 million team out at Genentech. The $1 million team means that you cost the company over $1 million in fines, fees, or expenses. It's not a good thing to be on the $1 million team. When you're on the $1 million team, unbeknownst to me, and I don't know if it's true, but probably, I think you go on the no hire list. So I don't think I would be able to get my job back at Genentech, even if I asked, because of that one instance. And what happened was, at Genentech in the command center, I'm the control room operator. I'm training new command center operators in their duties. And what I do is I'm logged on the system, and as I'm training you to do your job, I'm logged on and I'm showing you how to do it. The first day, my usual training technique is this. You get 3 days of training if you're a regular security guard. You get 2 weeks of training if you're a command center operator, control room operator. The 3 days of security guard training is this. First day, it's me. I will do everything. You watch me. I will show you how to do it and how to do it correctly. All you do the first day is observe. The second day of my training, you carry the radio, you carry the keys, you've seen how I perform the job, you perform the job just as you've seen me doing it. I will now instruct you how to perform the job, teach you how to do it. First day, show you. Second day, teach you how to do the job. How to pull on a door. Pull the door, make sure it's secure. Turn the doorknob, make sure it's locked. Push on the door, make sure it is secure. 3 steps to checking the door. First thing I usually do is push on it to see if I can pop it. Then I check to see if it's unlocked and then pull on it. That's how I usually do it. At Genentech, we had barcodes on each door. We had the little wand like the FedEx guys used to scan the little barcodes on the packages. We had that exact same wand that we used to program the doors. I also had on my card key a little key card with barcodes on it that said unsecure, secure, open door, closed door, open for employee, or whatever. I also had a barcode on my employee card key that I could scan with my employee ID on it. So to log onto the machine, scan my employee ID, and as I'm checking the doors, pull on the door, beep, check that door, it's secure. Door, secure. Next door, pull on, ding, ding, beep, door, secure. Over and over, that's the job. Third day on the job, last day for training, I watch you do the job. You perform the job, you teach me how to do the job as if you were training me. And I expect you to train me the exact same way I trained you. You can take notes all you want. If you have to, that's fine. I don't mind. But that's usually how the security guard training goes. As far as the guards go, I did have different level of the guards. Usually on my team, I had a basic 5-man team, and then I had other extended guards as well, probably up to 3 to 5 other guards as well, for a total of up to 10 guards on my team. Usually it went like this. My basic 5-man team is this. 5 guys, 2 men in the command center, right and left operator. I'm not counted in this because I'm considered management, so I would be in the middle, watching the 2 command operators. Third guy, during the day shift, there's a guy out in the lobby there, issuing out card keys to the contractors. I usually have 2, on swing shift, I have 2 guys on patrol. 2 guys on patrol checking buildings. 1 guy is walking patrol. 1 guy is motor patrol checking the outer buildings. And then I have parking lot guy. Parking lot guy, low guy on the totem pole. His job is this. Easy. You come on my site. I give you a job laptop computer. You take this laptop computer and the golf cart. You put the laptop on the golf cart. You tour the parking lots. All your job is all of our buildings at Genentech, we have multiple building sites. It's all a campus setup. Buildings were numbered 1 through 52 or 53 at the time I was there in the 80s and 90s. We didn't really have that many, but there was maybe some in the 30s and 40s that were missing a few. But yeah, we did have probably a good 30 buildings. Some of them were huge buildings, some of them had only 2 or 3 doors to check. Some of them had 50 doors to check. No lie, a warehouse with 50 doors on the outside is true. huge warehouses. Warehouses where train tracks rolls up to these warehouses. That's how big these things were. We could ship stuff out on the train. The low run guard, all his job was easy. Your laptop. All you have to do is you drive around in the golf cart. You roll up to a car, make, model, license plate number of the car, and the nearest building and door number on the car. Every one of our buildings were numbered, 1 through 53, like I said, and in each door was numbered. Each door was numbered one all the way around the building. Usually it was on the right, clockwise around the building. Some of them went counterclockwise. But the door was the building number and then the door number. So the guard would sit there and write down the make, model of the car, and then the nearest exit door. Building 5, door 17. Next car, boom, boom, boom. Same thing, building 5, door 17 is the nearest door until you get so far where the nearest door is now door 18. So you write down make, model of the car, building 5, door 18. Make, model of the car, building 5, door 18. Until you get to door 19 and then so on all the way around the building. The reason we had it like that, and the reason we kept track of the vehicles and the door numbers is this. You had card access to get in. On the way out, it was free access on the way out. We used to have you badge out, but it was considered a egress problem, so we had free access out using the Rex readers. But some of our readers we could set up above the door. We could set on a super sensitive mode to where every card that went out was read. So you didn't have to scan your card. It was automatically scanned while it was on your person. We had the sensitivity set up so high, you could get a card on the ground and pull it on the ground and the reader in the ceiling would read it. So no matter where it was on your body, your card was read as you went outside that door. And the reason we had it set like that is we had our computers would come up missing every single weekend. At Genentech, it was a free open campus. We encouraged people to take work home. Of course, we want you to work for free. We're trying to discover the cure for cancer and major diseases, so we have open, free thinking at Genentech. If you come up with the idea, it's the company's idea. It is not yours because first day on the site, you sign a confidentiality agreement. If you come up with a cure for cancer, it's not your ideas, it's Genentech's. And they get all the credit. And I hear my wife coming in, so we'll stop this video here. Thanks for watching.